Welcome to Sportsource Game of the Week. I'm your host, Ren Grimsley. This week we have a crosstown baseball rivalry as the Athens Christian Eagles host the Clarke Central Gladiators. The Gladiators look to avenge 2 losses at the hands of this Eagles team last season. The first game ending 5-4 and the second game 11-0. However, at the start of this new season, either team could come out on top. Sportsource reporter Nick Erickson is standing by with more information on this Athens Christian team.
Ren, the Eagles are coming off a 2-1 win over Tatnall Square Academy yesterday afternoon. And after a 2025 season in which Athens Christian owned a 24-6 record, the Eagles currently sit 1-1 to start off their 2026 campaign. I got a chance to catch up with head coach Jack Westbrook, a former Major League player, about what the Eagles can do to take another win from the Gladiators. He harped on the small things, acknowledging the need for executing pitches and assembling an effective lineup. I'm here with Coach Westbrook ahead of this weekend's matchup against Clarke Central. Coach, last season you guys swept Clarke Central in a 2-game set. What are they good at that you can limit this weekend?
Well, they were a young team last year. I think they've obviously gotten better. I've seen some of the scores that they've had this year against other teams that we've played in the past. So they're getting better, and it's just one of those things where we got to just do what we can do. Throw strikes, take care of the ball, and hopefully we'll be okay.
You guys are coming off of a dominant 24-6 season. You guys lost in the opener. You guys have a game today, and of course then this weekend. How do you right the ship from here?
Well, it's early. We played a pretty good team in Stevens County, and it was our first ball game. Had an opportunity to win. Just didn't do the little things that we needed to do to win the ball game. So we're going to learn from that and then go from there.
And then lots of emotions in a crosstown series. What are you guys doing to prepare for this weekend's matchup?
Well, we're just getting ready. Just it's early in the season. Trying to figure out our lineup, trying to figure out where guys play and where they fit in the lineup, and it's just going out there and then trying to execute as best we can.
And then how is it to coach your son? I mean, obviously he just committed. How is it getting to do that?
I mean, it's a blessing, man. It's really cool to be able to do that. My oldest has already come through here and was able to have the opportunity to coach him as well. So it's a huge blessing for me to be able to do that, and it's just to be around him. And he's a good player, but he's an even better young man, and proud of that for him.
And you played in the major leagues, of course. How does that kind of affect your coaching style and philosophy?
I was a pitcher, so I think more along the lines of a power pitcher thinks. But just the experience that I've gained over the years of just being in baseball, my entire life, it's just kind of been my whole everything that I know. And I've accumulated some experience and knowledge of the game, not just in the pitching aspect of it. And now it's just my job to go out and relay that to the kids and try to teach them as much baseball as I possibly can. Once a World Series champion with the Cardinals, Westbrook looks to continue to use his major league experience to aid his players and give them an edge over the Gladiators' young lineup. As long as key players such as senior Keaton Westbrook and the Eagles' young core execute the simple things, Athens Christian should put up one heck of a fight. Back to you, Ren.
Thanks, Nick. Coming up after the break, we'll turn our focus to the visiting team and how Clarke Central is planning for the matchup this weekend against Athens Christian for their first of 2 games they'll play this season, with the other game in early March. You're watching Sportsource Game of the Week. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sportsource Game of the Week between Athens Christian and Clarke Central Baseball. Turning our focus to the visiting side, Sportsource reporter Grant Turnage joins us now. Grant, what is Clarke Central focused on in this matchup?
The Clarke Central Gladiators sit at 2-4 right now, and a little over halfway through their non-region schedule. Coach shares that he already is very familiar with Eagles head coach and knows the style of ball he wants to play, which gives them a competitive edge for this matchup. He also shared with me he is currently deciding between 2 starting pitchers for the game.
That kind of stuff.
Gotcha, Coach. And what do you think is a key player, maybe offensive or defenses, that on your team you're looking forward to how they perform against Athens Christian?
Well, I really believe we're going to try to pitch Shane Walls, big, tall right-hander, throws hard. Arm been sore last couple of days. Hopefully he'll be well Saturday. And if he's not, we'll probably go with Emery Casper. And they both are good pitchers. Shane throws real hard, got a good fastball, curveball. Casper's more of a curveball pitcher. But we're really looking forward to the game. It's always exciting, and coach over there does a real good job of coaching.
Gotcha, sir. And then you play them twice this year, actually. So you can this one this weekend, then you play them again in March. How will seeing them once before you play them again benefit you going into that second game?
Well, it's important you kind of get a feel of how they play. Like I said, I hadn't been here long, and I've coached against the guy 2 or 3 times, so we know basically kind of what they go do, how they go play. And like I said, it's usually a pressure game, which is the most difficult of all kind of baseball to play, in my opinion. People get up there and play for the big inning, they're easy to coach again. When you get up there and run and bunt, steal, hit and run, you got to be on your toes and ready.
Sure. Thank you so much for your time today, Coach.
Yes, sir.
I'm Grant with Carmichael Sports Institute. The Gladiators are searching for their first win against the Eagles in the last 5 years. A win against the Eagles would carry some momentum for them before they enter region play. This matchup will come down to execution, mental toughness, and the will to win on the road, which has been a weakness for them this season. Back to you, Ren.
Coming up next, we will dive into the analysis of this matchup with analysts Evan Kane and Matthew Herron. They'll have players to watch and a score prediction next here on Sportsource Game of the Week. Welcome back to Sportsource Game of the Week. Let's dive deeper into both these teams, starting with Evan. Evan, what sticks out initially to you?
Thanks, Ren. When you look at this matchup, it really comes down to experience versus urgency. The Eagles are coming off a dominant 24-6 season, which included a loss in the state semifinals to First Presbyterian Day. Even though it is still early 2026, the Eagles still have that championship mindset. Playing at home Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m., the Eagles will want to control the tempo early, getting runners on base, pounding the strike zone, getting ahead in counts, and letting their defense work behind them.
Evan, who will be the key player to watch for the Eagles?
Good question, Ren. For me, it's senior infielder and pitcher Keaton Westbrook. Westbrook is the reigning GIAA 4A District 4 Region Player of the Year and recently committed to play baseball at Young Harris College. He's not just a statistical leader for this team, he's an emotional tone setter. Westbrook understands what it takes to prepare at the next level, and his leadership skills have grown over time. When I asked him about stepping into that leadership role, here's what he said.
So when I was younger, I'd probably say I wasn't that vocal, and growing up, I think I've kind of gotten into that role a little bit more, and just started like teach younger kids, and just showing them like how to just compete better and lead, and just be a good example for them.
Now taking a look at the visiting team, Clarke Central. Matthew, what key player will step onto the field for the Gladiators tomorrow?
Thanks, Ren. Junior first baseman, outfielder, and pitcher Kai Loudermilk is a key player to watch for the Gladiators. He has been a reliable at-bat for Clarke Central so far this season with a .278 batting average, 4 runs scored, and 3 RBIs as of February 18th. He recorded his first pitching win of the season on February 14th, allowing 3 runs in the team's 4-3 victory over Putnam County. Here's what Loudermilk had to say about his team's need for a successful game against Athens Christian.
I think we need to do a lot of hitting. Our pitching's good as long as we're just staying consistent, but mainly I think it's hitting and just not making errors.
Matthew, what has stood out to you the most about the early parts of this season for Clarke Central?
Clarke Central has lacked consistency on the mound, especially in road games. In their home opener against Elbert County, the pitching staff allowed just 1 run in a 9-1 victory. But during a 3-game losing streak, opposing teams are averaging 8 runs per game, and all 3 of those games are on the road. So it will be important for the Gladiators to not let travel impact their success on the mound.
What is the biggest factor that could lead Clarke Central past Athens Christian?
Clarke Central needs to avoid giving up runs early on. The Gladiators have given up 11 first-run innings through their first 6 games, which this puts the offense that's averaging around 3 runs a game in an early hole.
Well, we've heard from our analysts about the keys for each team. When we come back, Evan and Matthew will give their score predictions for tomorrow's game. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Sportsource Game of the Week. All right, Evan, it's time to put you on the spot. What is your score prediction for Saturday's crosstown matchup?
Ren, I think this one is going to be competitive early. Crosstown rivalries always are. Clarke Central will come out motivated, especially considering they want to snap that 5-game losing streak against the Eagles. But I just trust Athens Christian more at home. If they execute the small things like Coach Westbrook emphasized and get runs on the board early, as Keaton Westbrook suggested, the Eagles will pull away in this one. First pitch defense, clean defense, and situational hitting will propel the Eagles to a victory in this one. Ren, I'm going Athens Christian 13-4 in this inter-county matchup.
All right, Matthew, who do you have winning this one?
Clarke Central's inability to keep Athens Christian off the scoreboard in the early innings will be too much for their offense to overcome. I also can't look past the Gladiators' 0-4 record on the road this year, so I'm going with Athens Christian to win 7-2.
Well, there you have it for our analyst predictions. We'll see if they are correct tomorrow as first pitch is at 3 p.m. at Athens Christian. For Nick Erickson, Grant Turnage, Evan Kane, and Matthew Herron, I'm Ren Grimsley. Thank you for watching Sportsource Game of the Week.